The Tigers went on the road for the final time in the regular season, and boy was it fun. The Tiger Football Report starts next.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. You come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packages of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years at Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Rob Ambrose. And coach, the Tigers traveled to Elon, North Carolina. Last year, a really disappointing double overtime loss. This year, it wasn't even in doubt from about the middle of the third quarter on as the Tigers beat Elon by a score of 41-10. This was the number 5 team in the country. And yes, they were missing their quarterback, they were missing their running back, but they have a stellar defense, and your offense, again, almost 500 yards.
Yeah, you keep saying that every week. I think the kids and the staff are really dialed in, that they're all on the same page. We don't look at personnel on the other side of the ball. We more look at scheme. It doesn't matter who they are. And there's some great football players. There's an All-American linebacker at Elon, and he is truly worthy of the title. There's an All-American defensive end that is truly worthy of the title. But we've faced these guys week after week in just different colored jerseys. So there's no intimidation factor, and there's no statistical wowness. They're good football players in a great conference, and we just line up and go play hard.
This was a complete victory because you got it from offense, defense, and special teams. Aiden O'Neill named the Special Teams Player of the Week. Robert Hayward named the Defensive Player of the Week. He was all over the field the entire game. I mean, it looked like there were 3 number 50s out there for the Tigers on Saturday.
Well, he last year when we went down there, this was probably Robbie's worst game. He was very undisciplined with his eyes, put himself in bad position. They ripped off a bunch of big runs based on his mistakes, and a couple of pass plays to boot, and some of it hurt us and stuck in his mind. And I will tell you that a large portion of the crowd was related to Robbie Hayward. And he knew they were coming, and he was going to represent the right way, and it's the best game he's played in a Towson uniform.
Let's speak about that, because there was not a huge crowd at that football game. There was a large Towson contingent, and they were very loud. As a matter of fact, Elon fans were complaining after the game that the Towson fans were louder than their fans.
Well, we did a little bit of Southern recruiting, and everybody, we do our best to get as many guys as close to home as we can with the schedule. And with that, we got as many Southern kids, their families, to come. But to be honest, we traveled very, very well. That was senior day, and I thought we kind of had more people than they did. And then midway through the fourth quarter, I turned to the stands, and they were making a little bit of noise, and I raised my hand a little bit, and it came a little deafening in there. Made it hard on the opposing offense in one of their drives. having that kind of crowd support is a difference maker. It really is. Whether you do it at home or you do it on the road, but when you do it on the road in our league, winning on the road in our league is damn near an impossible thing to do. And to have that kind of support behind you certainly helps.
The impressive thing is your team, 2 devastating losses back-to-back to Delaware and Maine, and the way they came out on Saturday. And you said it last week, and you said it in the pregame on Saturday, that after the Delaware game there was a lot of disappointment. After the Maine game there was a lot of anger. Well, that anger showed up on Saturday afternoon.
It truly was. Now, the focus that we had, we went into the Delaware game extremely focused. And probably our first half success against them, knowing how good that they were, probably hurt us. And we felt like, all right, we got all this. And we didn't bring our A game in the second half, and it came back to haunt us. And we were depressed. This is the world we live in today, and getting over things is not as easy as it used to be. And the Maine game, it just took so long to get over that. Now we played our rear end off in the second half of the Maine game. We played great and had a chance to win, but we put ourselves in the hole by not playing a full game. And the conversation of the week was we're going to be disciplined, we're going to take care of the little things, and we're going to play for 60 minutes. More than that, we're going to play 6 seconds at a time. And we were agreed upon, everybody in that room, whether you were on the field or off, we were going to do this 6 seconds at a time as an entire team until they told us we couldn't play anymore. And if they'd have told us we had to play 6, 7, 8 quarters against Elon, we would have done it, and we'd have had the same fire and energy. That's who we were in the beginning of the season, and that's who we're back to now. And I think that should help us as we move forward.
One area that for this team I think has been tremendous all year long that won't get a lot of attention is your kickoff return coverage. Yidi Thayenrat has put some hits on people that I don't think I've seen since Jordan Dangerfield was putting hits on people. But then this past week, Chris Tedder puts a hit on a guy that would have made Jordan Dangerfield proud. And that is a unit that doesn't really get a lot of publicity, but they've been tremendous all year long.
You can add Chiz to that and Robbie Hayward to that group as well. To the point now where they've changed the rule where you can do this thing where you fair catch a kickoff and you can get the ball to 25, so you don't have to deal with the physicality of the return. But no team ever starts off like that. So we kick off to them, and then we go flying downhill like missiles and bowling balls, and we tend to make a mess. And after a while, they don't want it anymore, and they start fair catching. And what they don't understand is what that does to our defense. Because the minute they start fair catching kickoffs, our defense is like, you're all afraid. You're afraid of us. And it amps us up even that much more. So Yidi's done, all these guys have done a great job. But Chris Tedder did something last week, and I don't think he hit both the blocker and the ball carrier. He ran through both of them at the same time and knocked them both down. And if it would have been Yidi always does something like that. But the great part about our guys is, and sorry, if you go to fair catch the ball and they see it, they start looking for other guys to hit until the whistle blows. Well, it's just a physical football team.
The Tigers will have more players to hit this Saturday as the Dukes of James Madison come to Johnny Unitas Stadium in what's going to be just an epic showdown between two teams fighting not only for the playoffs but for seeding in the FCS playoffs. Coach Ambrose and I will be back with you later on this week to talk about the game with the Dukes. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Rob Ambrose, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. And as always, go Tigers.